Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be doing a video on puppy essentials. So I've had some requests for this and you guys wanted to know what I felt that you need when you are getting a new puppy. So I figured I would put a list together of the things that I think are essential for anyone who is getting a new puppy. And you know, some of these things you may not need or you may not think you need, but these are just the items that I think that everyone needs when they are getting a puppy. So you can use this list accordingly and, you know, check off things as you get them. And then if you don't think that you need these particular items, or if it doesn't apply to your particular breed, then, you know, just don't get those items. So let's get started. The first thing that I think that everyone should get when they are considering or when they are getting a puppy is pet insurance. And as I said in my last video on pet insurance, I feel that everyone can benefit from getting pet insurance. Veterinary care these days in 2016 is very, very expensive. And if you are prepared with getting pet insurance before your dog gets an illness, then that is the way that you are going to give them the most protection, and it just gives you peace of mind knowing that you have pet insurance in case something comes up. The best time to get that pet insurance is when your dog does not have any pre-existing conditions, which is usually when they are a puppy. What I did with, in regards to pet insurance with Stassi is when I knew that I was getting Stassi for sure, I waited until about 3 weeks before I knew that she was going to be coming home. So I knew that I was getting her when she was very, very young, and I had to wait until she was 12 weeks old in order to, you know, have her come home with me. So at about 9 weeks old, that is when I called and got my pet insurance. And I gave all of the information about that in the last video, but the pet insurance that I have and I recommend is Pet Plan Insurance. I will leave a link to that in the description box below. But the reason why you want to wait until right before you get your puppy is because they need to be seen by a veterinarian within 30 days of getting your policy. So I knew that I wanted it right away. So I knew that I would take her to the vet as soon as I got her to do her little, you know, puppy checkup. So I figured, you know, 9 weeks or so was a good time for me to get it. And that is when I got my pet insurance. If you already have, you know, your dog already, then definitely I would suggest getting the pet insurance as soon as possible, because you want to get pet insurance before any pre-existing conditions pop up. So that is something that I highly recommend. The next thing that I recommend that you get for your puppy is some sort of playpen. I have the Rover Pet playpen, but there are all sorts of different X pens, playpens that you can get for your puppy. And I think that that is something that is very needed, because when you are going to be doing the potty training, you're going to want to contain your pet in a pet playpen so that whenever you can't watch your puppy, you will be able to put them in their playpen and they will be safe and they won't have potty accidents all around the house. So definitely a playpen is a must. Another thing that if you're going to use a playpen exclusively, then I don't think you need a crate as well. But if you're going to be crate training, then definitely you will also want to get a crate. My dogs all go inside to potty, so I don't really crate train mine. Mine are more playpen trained, I guess. But if you will be crate training, then definitely add a crate to your list. There are all sorts of different crates out there, but the kind of crates that I like best are the little black wire open crates. I think that those are definitely better than the ones where they can't really see and they just have the little holes. So I like those black wire crates. And I do have crates like that at my house because I have, you know, multiple pets. But, you know, it wasn't something that I used with Stassi or Harper when I got Harper, because they are pretty much like playpen trained. Let's see. So I made a list. Let me get my list. All right, the next thing that I feel that every puppy owner needs on their list of essentials is puppy pads. So depending on what you would like to do, you could either buy the washable potty pads like I use, or you can do the disposable potty pads. I love the washable potty pads because they are so easy and it saves you money where you don't have to buy, you know, the disposable pads over and over and over again. Especially if you're going to be indoor potty training, that really adds up when you have to do the disposables, you know, forever. So I love the washable potty pads. I get mine at NuPuppyPad.com, and I'll leave that link to that shop because it might have an S in it, I don't know. But I will leave the link to that in the description box below. But definitely add potty pads to your list of essentials. The next thing that I think that every new puppy needs are, of course, food. So you will have to decide on which food you're going to be feeding, and you may want to start off with the food that your breeder will send home with you, and then you can transition them into the food that you would like to start feeding. So food is such a personal choice, so it's just going to depend on what type of food you think you are going to want to feed as to what food you buy. Definitely though, do not buy something that has byproducts and corn and wheat. Definitely stay away from that type of food. If you're going to feed a kibble, I suggest using a grain-free kibble. There are so many choices today, and there are a lot of different healthy choices out there that you can, you know, get something a whole lot better than, you know, something that has grains and fillers and things like that. If you're going to be feeding raw, you can feed a puppy raw, you know, from the very beginning. And I suggest the Nature's Variety Raw Bites. What is your problem? She's getting antsy. These come in little bitty bites, which is great for any size puppy. And it's an all-stage food because it's raw. It is designed for puppies through senior dogs, and you know, I believe that raw food is absolutely the best diet that any dog can be on. But I know that, you know, cost plays a part in it, and also, you know, your lifestyle and whether or not you can feed, you know, raw. So whatever choice you decide on, you will want to have, of course, food on hand for when you transition them from whatever food the breeder is feeding to, you know, whatever food you want your pet to be on. The next thing that everyone needs, of course, is food bowls. So the kind of food bowls that I recommend are either ceramic or the little stainless steel. Do not get any plastic food bowls because plastic tends to give them like little breakouts and they could be allergic to the plastic. So definitely stainless steel or ceramic food bowls. The next thing that you're going to need is something for water. So if you're using water bowls, then you will want to also use a ceramic bowl or a stainless steel bowl. If you're going to be using water bottles like I use in my home, then you will need the water bottles and of course a stand to hold the water bottles. The stands that I love to use are by Paws Creations, but there are several different places that do the different types of stands. I just love the Paws Creations water stands and water bottles the best. So those are definitely needed if you are going to use water bottles. After your water bowls and water bottles, the next thing that I suggest you have on hand is some NutriCal. NutriCal is a high calorie supplement that comes in a little tube. And I think that when you are getting a new puppy, sometimes the puppy will not want to eat right away when you get them. So, you know, because they're stressed. They're coming from, you know, they're leaving their mom, they're leaving their siblings. And so that's really common. So if you have something on hand to give them, just in case they are not eating, then I think that that is definitely needed. And there is a product called NutriCal. It comes in a tube, like I said, and it's just a little supplement that you give that will boost up their I can't talk. It is a supplement that you give to boost up their blood sugar in case they are not eating, just so that their blood sugar does not drop. So definitely have some NutriCal on hand. So the next thing that I think that you need when you are, you know, preparing to bring a puppy home is toys. So you will want to get a couple of things for the puppy to chew on. And one of the things that I love is deer antlers. So deer antlers are great. It's a great chew because it's not like rawhide that gets really nasty and yucky. And those are something that is really nice. Deer antlers are something that's really nice to have for the puppy to chew on. Unless your puppy or your dog is a power chewer, then I wouldn't recommend the deer antlers because they can fracture the teeth if they are a really, really hard chewer. But mine have been chewing on deer antlers for years and I haven't had any fractured teeth. I would not give deer antlers or anything real hard like that to a dog that is a power chewer though, because then I feel like you would definitely run the risk of fracturing teeth. So deer antlers, also there are the little Nylabone puppy bones that are good for chewing. They come in the different flavors like chicken or bacon, and they are usually like a white plastic, and puppies tend to really like that. And of course, you know, any kind of little toys that you like. All puppies love squeakers and little things that you can play tug of war with. So definitely, you know, make a trip to PetSmart, Petco, wherever that you want to buy a few little toys and have those toys on hand for when you bring the puppy home. The next thing that you will need is, of course, a bed. So again, that is something very personal. You know, there are so many beds out there, so you will have to decide which type of bed you like and you know, get those types of beds or get a bed for your puppy. The next thing that you will need when you have a new puppy or before you bring that new puppy home is a harness and a leash. Now, I don't recommend collars because collars tend to pull on the neck. And so I feel that harnesses are much better than collars for any breed. There are so many different makers of harnesses out there. Just look for a high quality harness in the style that you like. And I would suggest not buying something too expensive because your puppy will more than likely grow out of it. So save that really nice expensive harness for when your puppy gets to be full grown so that you don't have to, you know, just use it for a short amount of time and then not be able to use it anymore. You will also need a leash because if you're going to be taking your puppy on walks or out to potty, then definitely a leash is needed as well. The next thing that you're going to need for your puppy are grooming products. So I made a list of all of the grooming products that I think are necessary to bring before you bring your puppy home. You're definitely going to want to use or want to have on hand shampoo and conditioner. I love the Show Premium products and I think they are great for any breed of dog, so that's the ones that I am going to recommend. There are many different many different ones in that line. I like the Moisture Unleashed, but there's also, you know, the Clarity and the Royal Treatment. So there's different ones depending on which breed you are going to have. So pick a good shampoo and conditioner and have that on hand before you bring your puppy home. The next thing that you're going to need is a brush and a comb. The brushes that I love are the Chris Christensen pin brushes. I use the 27mm pin brush, but again, this is going to depend on which breed you have as to which brush that you are going to choose. Another must-have is a comb, and I love the Chris Christensen Greyhound combs. You do need a brush and a comb because your brush is going to get the oils or stimulate the natural oils in a dog's coat. So you're going to want to brush first, and then you're going to want to use the comb to get out any little knots. I'm just going to let her do what she wants to do. The next thing that you are going to need on your list is a good grooming spray. You never want to brush a dog's coat dry, so you want to use a grooming spray to mist the coat before you brush. So again, I like the Show Premium grooming sprays. I love the Royal Treatment Brushless grooming spray, but there's also a daily conditioning grooming spray, and I think that those are, you know, definitely something that you would put on your must-have list. Another item that is in the grooming section is a detangler. So again, this is another personal choice, but I like the Not Anymore detangler from Show Premium products. Also, if you are going to have a breed that is prone to tear staining, such as a Shih Tzu, a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, a Maltese, you're going to want to use a couple of products to help keep the face clean. The products that I like are the Clarity No Rinse Cleanser. I also use the NuVet Eye Wash and the Paw Marks Drying Powder. So these are great products to get before your puppy comes home. That way you will be armed and ready to attack those tear stains before they start. And definitely if your breed is a breed that is prone to that tear staining, you're going to want to keep the face really clean and dry, and those are the 3 products that I suggest you have on hand before your puppy comes home. You will also need a small 5-inch face comb if you have a breed such as a Shih Tzu, a Maltese, a Yorkie, any breed that has the mustache. Those little 5-inch face combs are absolutely the best to use, you know, in your grooming routine. And the one that I have is the Chris Christensen 5-inch face comb. I'm sorry, you're probably hearing my phone go off and everything else. Okay, the next thing that you're going, but we're just gonna roll with it. The next thing that you're going to need if you have a puppy that takes a top knot. So again, your Shih Tzu, Yorkie, Maltese, all of those breeds are eventually going to have the little bows or little top knots in their hair if that's what you choose to do. So the things that you will need for them will be the little elastic bands, you will need baby bows, and you will need a band removal scissors with a little hook on it. So those 3 things are needed if you're going to have a dog with a top knot. You're also going to need a grooming pillow. And I've shown my pillow that I use multiple times. I got it off of Etsy. I got it on Etsy. And I believe it's by Diva Dog Boutique or something like that. And I will leave the link to that, as well as all of the things that I am talking about. I will leave a whole list in the description box below so that you can go back and reference that and decide which products you need. But these are the ones, like I said, that I think that, you know, most puppy owners, new puppy owners are going to need, you know, all of these products. You will also want to have on hand some baby wipes, and I suggest using the unscented baby wipes. And that is for little accidents that occur. You know, if they're going out to potty and they get anything stuck on their fur, it's always nice to have those little baby wipes on hand for your new puppy. You will also need a dog carrier. So I use the medium-sized Sherpa carrier. And again, this is going to be dependent on what size your dog is going to be, but definitely pick one that your dog is going to fit in when she is adult size. You don't want to buy 2 of those. So whatever you think your dog is going to weigh when they are an adult, then choose the appropriate size dog carrier. But dog carriers are great to have on hand if you're bringing your dog into the vet or anywhere that you're going to need to put them into a carrier. Also, if you ever plan on flying with your pet, you will definitely need to have a dog carrier. Another must that I think, well, I guess it's really not a must, but it was a must for me, is a pet car seat. I absolutely love our car seat. I didn't use it with Stassi until she was probably about 5 or 6 months old. I used the dog carrier at first when she was a little bitty baby puppy. And then when she was about 5 or 6 months old, I switched her to use the pet car seat. The car seat that I use is the Snoozer pet car seat, and it is the regular size, and it's not the luxury one with the drawer. It's just the regular Snoozer pet car seat. So if you think that you are going to be using a car seat, then definitely add that to your list. And I think that is it. So if you can think of anything that I may have missed, please leave it in the comment section below. I hope that I touched on everything that I think that you need when you're getting a new puppy. Again, this list is just something that I put together that I thought that most puppy owners will need and use, and it's just a guideline. You know, I may have not covered everything, or there may be something on there that you don't think that you're gonna need, so please tailor that to the things that you think you're gonna need, and also for the particular breed of pet that you have. So that concludes this video. Sorry that Stassi decided that she wasn't gonna be part of the video, but she got a little tired of me holding her. So we just let her do her thing. Right, Stassi? Right. All right, thank you guys for watching. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Oh my goodness. Like always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye, guys. The water bottles. So, depending on which type of water stand you use, there's many companies out there that make the different water stands. She insists on not facing the camera, by the way. What? Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. What do you want? Oh my gosh, what is the matter with you? She's trying to tell me something. I don't know what it is. What are you trying to tell me? You need to go potty? Do you need to go potty? Can we get through this, please? Okay. You will also need something for water. So same thing goes. If you are going to be using, you are not in the thing. You're not in the shot. Everybody wants to see you. Can you stay still, please? She's getting antsy. Okay. The next thing that, of course, you will need is something for water. So same thing goes with the water bowls. You will want to use either stainless steel or ceramic water bowls, or if you have a long coated breed like a Shih Tzu or a Yorkie or a Maltese that has this hair here that you want to keep dry, then I highly suggest using water bottles. Now, along with the water bottles comes the water stands. What is your problem? My goodness, I don't know why she's doing this. Stop! Stop it! Can you please supplement that you give to boost up their blood sugar in case they are not eating, just so that their blood sugar does not drop. So definitely have some NuVet on hand. You will also want to have some toys. You will also want to have some toys. So usually something to chew is a must for puppies. So if you want to get maybe a deer antler, they usually love those. And they have all sorts of different toys, different teething bones, nyla bones, things like that. So you can get something like that. I'm gonna go let her potty. What's her problem? The next thing that shit.